Are you one that gets mad at your pastor every year? I say that because some people, like at the beginning of the year, especially when the pastor is speaking blessings and prophesying and telling you it's your time and it's your season and this is your year. This is the year. Are you one that gets angry because year after year you don't see any of that? It never happens for you. I have a question for you, and I want you to be absolutely honest, no matter how it makes you feel. I'm saying this because this question I first heard out of the mouth of Dr. Cindy Trim, and when she said it, it slapped me around. The question was, could things be the way they are because you are the way you are? Think about it. Consider it for a moment. So we make resolutions every year. We get these words from the pastor, oh, it's your year, it's your season, this is the year, da-da-da. But your pastor cannot get in your flesh for you and walk around. So what you're going to have to do is walk that thing out. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you had a list of 12 things every year that you wanted to come to pass for you. But at the end of that year, not one of those things came to pass. I want you to take a sobering look at that list. I'm going to pull up a list now just to use as an example. Let's say this was last year's list. On this list, it says, I want to have my degree. I want to have my certification. I want to have some form of education, right? Let's say if God were to say to you, look, I handpicked everybody that was going to be in your class. I was excited for that resolution because it falls in line with your destiny. I handpicked everybody that was going to be in your class. Susie lives 1 mile from you. And on that day that you had a flat tire, she was going to help you get to class. Now, Dion is excellent in this, and he would have poured into you. He would have helped you and studied with you and helped you to get past those exams that were a little bit harder for you than the others. Then over here, there's Darren. Darren is the class clown, and on the very days that you came in there and your spirit was downcast, he was one that was going to crack a joke and just turn your whole mood around. Everybody showed up at you. Where were you? Is that the pastor's fault because you didn't show up? Well, I owed a balance, so I couldn't go. Did you pay the balance? How much was the balance? I know of someone personally who came from another country. And I know in this climate, it's probably, but whatever, it happened. They came from another country. They began applying for scholarships, grants, and things like that for school in order to go to school. These were not based on grades because this person was a C student. These were not based on the fact that they were an immigrant or coming from another country. They were just scholarships and grants that nobody bothered to accept. And so the ones that had gone unclaimed year after year, she would go and ask, well, can I apply for this? I mean, I don't meet every qualification, but if nobody else is getting it, I'm telling you, this young lady paid cash for a house, a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-story home, 2-car garage, cash. Because that's how much change she had left over from all of the applications that she submitted. She didn't listen to the imposter syndrome or the voice of the enemy that said, you can't do this. Who are you? What makes you think you can do that? She was coming from a new country with a new set of eyes that only saw opportunity, where someone who lives here all the time may only see obstacles. And they may get comfortable on systems and things that are designed to give you a little bit, just enough, in order to keep you where you are. She didn't have any of that. So she came and she's like, wow, free money. Oh my God. And she went and got it. Now this money is sitting unclaimed year after year after year because nobody was applying for it. This money can be used for housing, whether you live on campus or off campus. She chose to live off campus and she paid cash for a house. No rent, no mortgage, no nothing, no job, didn't cost her a dime. What are you doing that you are here in the promised land, a land that people are literally dying to enter into? They're swimming across dangerous waters. They're climbing across borders. They're coming in the backs of unrefrigerated trucks, and they're risking their lives and the lives of their children in order to come to a place that you live in every day, because they see this as opportunity, a land of opportunity. How do you see this place? Because a lot of immigrants come here and they get here and they're surprised at how much Americans complain. Are you one that complains? Do you sit on social media and do absolutely nothing but complain about things that you have been empowered to change? Let's say you don't know. Let's say you want to do a business venture. There is a consultant that may be $1 million an hour just to sit with this consultant, and you can pick his brain, but you don't have $1 million. But guess what you do have? You have YouTube, and YouTube is filled with consultants of a high caliber who will do it for free. They will pour into you the wisdom and the knowledge for free. What questions do you have? Type them into YouTube and watch the answers flow. Let's say you owed a balance. I was in that situation. I had a balance due. I took and did an automatic bill pay so that every time my direct deposit would hit, and my balance was small, maybe $500, $600. It wasn't much left because I was one that was paying for school out of my pocket. I set up an automatic bill pay, and it was a small amount, maybe $25, $50, something that I wouldn't miss if I would stay out of McDonald's, if I would stay out of Wendy's. I set that automatic bill pay, and every week or every 2 weeks, that money would hit their account. And before I knew it, I looked up and it was gone. I did the same thing with my vehicle registration, so I don't have this big tax bill every time I go to renew my tags. And little by little throughout the year, without me even noticing, as soon as direct deposit hit, it leaves. And by the time I opened to check to see what to make sure that my deposit had hit, it was gone. And that $20, $50, $30, I didn't miss it. And it was gone. What steps are you taking in order to achieve your dreams? Now, let's say you had on your list, I want to be a millionaire. Okay. Doing what? We're going to break this down into practical steps. What exactly do you want to do for $1 million? Think about it. What is it that somebody can wake you up in the middle of the night out of your sleep and you would do it with no problem? What is your passion? What do you absolutely love? What drives you? What motivates you? Once you have that thing, narrow it down, whatever it is. What steps are you taking in order to get to that thing? Because sometimes when we have dreams that they wind up remaining dreams. I can't remember the man of God, but he said that the graveyard was one of the wealthiest places on earth because there was so much untapped potential. There's so many laptops with ideas that were not acted upon, and it's a sad thing. Act on those things. Act on it. Arise and shine. Your light has come. Your pastor's not lying to you. Think about what the prodigal son's father, what did he say to the brother of the prodigal son? Not the prodigal son, but what did he say to his brother? His brother was angry. He said, you're doing all of this and you're pouring out all of this. And here I've been with you the whole time and you've never done this for me. And the father said, but you're always with me. Everything I have is yours. You are a child of the Most High God. He gave you his very life. He humbled himself to the point of putting on flesh and allowing what he created to tear him apart. How much more, if he gave you his life, how much more is he willing to give you all things? Roll up your sleeves, because sometimes your harvest is wearing overalls. You sow seeds and you wonder what happened to your harvest. Did you ever get a business idea? Did something ever drop in your spirit and you're like, man, that would be awesome? You did nothing. It came up again and again until years later somebody else was doing it. And you thought, oh my God, I had that idea. I thought of that. The only difference between you and that person is not that they have 2 and 3 heads or they put their pants leg on 2 at a time. No, they acted on it. Sometimes your harvest is wearing overalls and you got to walk that thing out. We hear it all the time, but I don't know how much we actually stop and think about it. Faith without works is dead. We sit on a pew and say, I receive it. Okay, you receive it. It came to you. And you sat there and said, oh, that's a good idea. But you didn't roll up your sleeves and put on them overalls and walk that thing out. Work it. Work the plan. Do the work. Do the work. Because there is a harvest. God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. If he said it, He will surely bring it to pass. He dropped that thing in your spirit. You asked for 1 million, but baby, this will bring you 10. This will be a household name. Did you act on it? But I didn't know how. What you wanted was to see Z. If you obey A, then you'll get B. If you obey B, then you'll get C. It's just like walking up a flight of stairs. When you walk up a flight of stairs, you don't see the second floor. You walk up the first step, the second step, the third step, and you do it in faith, knowing that the second floor is there. Otherwise, why are there stairs? Similarly, why was this given to you if it was not possible? Why was this dropped in your spirit if it wasn't possible? Google that thing. YouTube University, free of charge. There are people on there who will teach you for the price of a view. I don't care if it's how to start a beauty salon, how to braid hair, how to become a videographer, how to start a restaurant. It does not matter what it is. Somebody will walk you through, and then you got video proof, you got evidence, and they're holding your hand and they're taking you through step by step on how to do it. What's the best filing status? Should I do S Corp, LLC? YouTube. There's University of the People. It's an accredited college. Absolutely free of charge to get a degree. There's edX, there's Coursera. There's places to where you can get certified in practically anything. There's Harvard professors on these platforms pouring the same knowledge that they're pouring into Harvard into you. And a lot of those courses and certifications don't cost anything. And it's available to you. We're in the information age. You can have, do, or be anything that you want. Nothing and no one can stop you. If you don't have a computer, use your phone. If you don't have a phone, go to the library. I used to catch buses and go to the library and sit there all day on their computers and on their laptops, learning. I had a thirst for knowledge. Because God told me when I was coming out of homelessness, and I would say, God, I want to do this, but I don't have this, and all I saw was obstacles. And He opened my eyes to see opportunities. He said, your problem is not provision. Your problem is wisdom. And my thirst for knowledge began there. And I still have it. When I'm around the house and I'm doing certain things, like cooking, or if I'm on a long drive, or if I'm cleaning, or whatever I'm doing, entertainment is fine. It has its place. But I like to turn on something that's going to add to me. Some of today's music, the devil, he's still in the music business, just like he was when he was in heaven before he was cast down. He's still in the music business. Some of the things that are being put out now are so vile. They're not adding anything to you. In fact, they're taking from you. And they cause you to sing lyrics and speak your own demise. They cause you to see the opposite sex in a negative, demeaning way. But you say you want a spouse, and your words are powerful. They really are. So I'm careful on what I sing and what I come into agreement with. But I'm also careful with how I use that spare time, because I did learn years ago that people that are normally poor, they'll spend a lot of their time on entertainment. They'll spend a lot of their money on entertainment. People that walk in wealth, they spend a lot of their time and a lot of their money on education, on things that are going to get them to where they're trying to get to. So when I wanted to start a business, instead of listening to the latest song or watching the latest series or sitting on Facebook chit-chatting about, did y'all see so-and-so, I was on YouTube. And even if I was busy doing something, thinning my closet, I guess that's what you call it, thinning when you're throwing away old stuff, then blaring instead of the latest beat or song, I was blaring something from somebody in Silicon Valley teaching and pouring out wisdom for free. In the morning when you get up, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to speak to yourself and use those powerful words that are within you. And I want you to tell yourself that you are powerful, that you're unstoppable, that you can do all things through Christ. I want you to change the narrative. That tape that plays in your head where the enemy tries to punch you in your mind and give you something that's called the imposter syndrome. Please know that you're not alone. He did it to Christ himself. When Christ fasted for 40 days and for 40 nights, he was driven into the wilderness. He wasn't driven into the wilderness by the enemy. He was driven into the wilderness by the Lord. And the enemy came, just like he does to us, and began to punch him in his mind. If you really who you say you are, are you really? Right before this, the Lord had just spoken and said, "This is my son, in whom I am well pleased." And what did the enemy say? Did God really say? Hath God really said? Are you really who you say you are? Does he not do that to you when you want to accomplish something, when you want to, attempt something major? Are you really? What makes you think? Well, who do you think you are? That's the imposter syndrome, and everybody walks through that thing. The only difference between you and a household name is that they didn't let it stop them. Don't let it stop you. Don't let the enemy believe in you more than you do. Don't let your haters believe in you more than you do. And don't shrink and don't dim your light. You can do anything. Anything. Honestly, you can. But don't think that you're going to see Z if you haven't even obeyed A. One thing that God does is he sends your blessings. He sends your provision. Everything that he's placed it in you to walk out. You have that thing in your spirit for a reason. There are treasures in earthen vessels. Are you not an earthen vessel made of clay? You have a treasure in you. And God put that in there for a reason. And if there's something especially that disturbs you, could be that God put you here to solve that thing. But think about it. God is sending your provision to a place called there. Consider football. Say, I don't know all the terms. I know the Super Bowl is tomorrow, but I don't know all the terms. Let's say the thrower. He's not throwing the football to where the receiver is. He's throwing it to where he's going to be because that receiver is in motion. He's moving. He's running about the field. He's running. And then when he gets to where he's supposed to be, he's going to land right where that football lands. That's how they throw that ball. That's how God releases your provision. That's how he did when he told the man of God, go to the brook Charon, because I have provided. I have commanded a raven to feed you in that place. He could have sat in that same place. How is that going to happen? Well, I just don't know. But I don't know all of it. Well, where am I going to? But how? But I just don't see. I wonder how that. He got up and he went to the place called there. And guess what he found? Provision. I'm telling you, if you get up and you go to that place called there, you will find your provision. But don't think that you're going to see the end and you haven't even started yet. Every time, this is a walk of faith. That's how you live. Are you not the just that lives by faith? You have to exercise that faith. You have to, and you have to walk in it. Faith comes by hearing. When faith comes by your place every morning, what is it hearing? That you can't or that you can? What's on your list? Break it down into actionable steps. Okay, Lord, this year I want to be a millionaire. It's possible. It's possible. I saw this young lady begin to talk about what she was going to do. First, you have to know what you want to do. What can I wake you up in the middle of the night and you do? Without question, half asleep, and you do it from your heart because you love it so much. Out of your belly it flows like rivers of living water. What is that thing? What is your passion? What do you absolutely love to do? Let's see. How can you monetize that thing? What steps can you take in order to get there? Break it down into actionable steps. Well, first I need to do this, then I need to do that, then I need to do this, then I need to do that. Okay, let's take that first thing. Break that down into even smaller steps. And walk that thing out. But I don't have anybody to. You got a YouTube full of people. Somebody's got a playlist. Somebody's done it before. Somebody can sit and advise you free of charge on how to do that very thing. I want to write a book, Lord. This year I want to write a book. Start writing. Use some of those tools that are available. And some people find it easier, whether it's a movie, a book, whatever it is that you want to put out. Some people find it easy to put the timeline together first. Put the table of contents together first so that you'll know your talking points. You'll know what it is that you want to discuss. And then when you begin to discuss those things, you have a guide to follow. That's what I mean. Breaking it down into actionable steps. Okay, step 1. Chapter 1. What is chapter 1? What's the heading of chapter 1? Okay, chapter 1 is about this. Okay, start talking about that. Don't look at the book as a whole, because it will overwhelm you. Look at the first chapter, the first module of chapter 1. Look at it that way. Do the same thing if you're one that wants to produce a course. What else could be on your list? Something else that you said that you wanted to do. Okay, Lord, this year I want to buy a house. You can do that. The people in the world do it all the time. That's not unreasonable. What's your obstacle? What's hindering you from buying a house? Your credit score is 3. Okay, that's fixable. On YouTube, they'll tell you how to resolve that, or hire someone that repairs credit. One of the things that I like to do is on my phone, when I set an alarm, I'll set an alarm to go off every so often. And that label on that alarm that pops up when it goes off is, you're unstoppable. You can do anything. God is with you. As he was with Moses, so shall he be with you. Only believe. You can have it say whatever you want to. You have Alexa? You have a Google Assist. You have a Siri. Any of those apps? Any of those things? Siri, remind me every 3 hours that I am enough. Remind me every 2 hours that I am capable. Remind me every 4 hours this. Remind me, pick this up and do it. You know, you writing a book, set a timer. I'm going to sit here for 25 minutes and I'm not going to move. You're not going to sit there for 25 minutes. You're going to set an alarm and sit there for 3 hours, and I want you to write nonstop. And that's your only focus. Be laser focused and do it. But how do I get it published? Google it, YouTube it. Use Lulu, use Ingram Sparks. That's where Barnes & Noble order their books from. Use Amazon. Amazon is good. Get your ISBN number. But I don't know how. Google it. You can get an ISBN number for what, $90, $100? Get you an account with the Library of Congress, or use a publisher. Find a publisher. Vanity Press is out there. There are a lot of publishers that will help you with that. It doesn't matter what's on your list. Let me look at some things. Lord, I want a closer walk with you. Then get closer. Like, sometimes life happens. Life be life, and I get it. And sometimes distractions come, you know, and you get in there and you're living day-to-day life and you're just trying to keep your head above water. But one thing that is extremely important is begin your day in the presence of the Lord, and your day will go a lot smoother. He will guide and order your steps, but you have to move. When I went back to school, you know what God said? Okay, well, now that you're going back to your education, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. We're not waiting on God. God's waiting on us. Okay, well, now that you're trying to become a wife, now that you're preparing yourself, instead of all this long list of what you want the man to be, you want him to look a certain way so he can be your personal eye candy. He might want some eye candy too. Get in the gym. Work on your appearance. As for me, I'm on a journey. I am on a journey. And it's been going well, thank you. But yeah, there's so much out there that we can have. And don't ever say that you don't know and leave it there. It's okay not to know, but don't stay in that place. How do you do this? How do you do that? But I don't know how. If you obey A, God will give you B. When you obey B, God will give you C. When you get to D, baby, you find that divine connection that God been waiting to give you, like a kid that got to go to the bathroom so bad. He's so excited. He wants you to have it more than you want it. But you trying to see the end from the beginning. You trying to see the 4th floor and you ain't even left the first one. I guarantee you, provision is there. But you have to get to the place called there. And you have to move. You have to put one foot in front of the other and do it. You sowed a seed and you didn't see a harvest. Your harvest came. It's coming, or it's already come. You had an idea that you left in a notebook and you didn't do nothing on it. Somebody else took it up and you saw them making a lot of money. Did they have 2 heads? No, they got the same number of heads you got. They got the same number of hours in a day that you have. It's possible. And it will happen. And this year, when it ends, and the pastor speaks blessings over you the next year, because you are with the Lord and everything he has is yours, you won't be getting mad at the pastor, but you'll be looking in the mirror and you'll be telling yourself, that's right, this is my year. I can do this. I am unstoppable. I can have, do, or be anything I want. The sky is not the limit. There are no limits. The sky is the beginning. And it is. But honestly, I just wanted to drop this because this is the beginning of a new year. And I know a lot of you had blessings spoken over you by your pastor. And some of y'all probably got mad and cynical. But consider the question I asked you at the start. Could things be the way they are because you are the way you are? My name is Tameka Riley. You can find me online at TamekaRiley.com. You can find me on social media and online at I Am Tameka Riley. I'll see you in our next video.